Welcome to the official Music Mindset podcast. In our
live from the base,
like from the headquarters. Yeah, we're in the corporate office of Music Mindset called My Basement. But I'm Whitney B.
JP.
Yo, G RIEL in the building, in el sótano.
Why do we all say it? So I think it's really sótano, but I really do say sotano too. I don't know why, because it's el basement. Anyway,
The magic happens.
yes, this is where the. What'd you say? I didn't hear you, JP.
Almost ash to the wrong kid.
Oh, anyway, so first topic of the night, I guess. What's everybody been working on? What you I guess I'll start with you, Gabe, because JP looks like he's struggling over here. Like just burnt.
Yeah, that joint's kind of going in and out, but shit, over the weekend. Yeah, I mean, I really didn't. I just pulled up beats and then recorded melodies and like some mumble, like literally mumble, like I'm just mumbling. You don't know what the fuck I'm saying on these songs, and it's like probably I don't even know if it's shit I'll go back to, but I feel like I needed that.
You taking it back to SoundCloud rap?
Nah. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you want to call it SoundCloud rap, but
It was just when you said the mumbling.
yeah. That's like the mumble rap, but like shit, that shit is so like it's just therapeutic sometimes. Like it's not even shit that you have to come out with or like take serious. And that's how I just took it as. I was just like, let me not overthink this shit. Pulled up like 5 beats, recorded like just random shit.
That's what's up. Yeah, it's kind of like back to the basics type stuff. Like you just kind of went back and just the process, that's just a natural process of it. Yeah. Like you said, kind of therapeutic, just getting it out.
Well, it's kind of like just fucking around, doing some things, see what sounds good.
Yeah.
Maybe you take one piece from one thing you were doing and another, you tie it together.
You come up with anything you feel comfortable or confident about yet?
I don't even remember when I recorded. That's
probably the best.
I'll go back to it and then I'll be like, okay, I was on one on this flow. I was on, I'll pick and choose.
That's what's up.
What about y'all? What y'all been?
JP, what you been doing?
Well, we went through some beats, ones that you liked, and we kind of did the same thing.
Make that clear. Let's make sure that's clear that I picked.
But I still, did my thing on guitar.
How's that process been for you?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a little frustrating to me sometimes just because I feel I'm limited with what I can do. Just because, I don't know, with playing, I just feel like what I play is what I play. Mm-hmm. What I know is what I know, and that's bad. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to, to expand and shit. So I kind of like it, even though I do get frustrated sometimes, but it just breaks me out of, I guess, the comfort zone or the things that I know.
Yeah.
So, and that's important.
That's what I think I like seeing the most, because I've heard you play for a while now, and I do, like, you do have, like, a signature, like, you play what you play, and it's all amazing, like, of course, but I feel like we haven't been able to even see what you actually can do or have the potential to do, because you've been kind of stuck in that loop. So like seeing you kind of step out of that has been like, that was kind of cool. Like watching you like, make whatever notes and then just kind of like go like whatever you hear, just hear this beat that I chose and like hear whatever in between. Yeah. And that's like, I think that's really good. And it's really been a cool process. Like even for me, like this, I'm like very easily like, I don't know, wowed, I guess. Like I'm like the little kid, like I feel like I'm a little kid with some things. Yeah. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. But it really is for me. It's like, this is a whole new world for me and I get really excited. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of cool, like hearing everybody in their different processes. So
you got to be like in that mode though, like that kid mode, like where you're just like you were talking about, like saying like you feel limited, but like that's like part of it's just part of the process. You're gonna work with what you got, and then from there you branch out into you start to, like, sounds generic, but you start finding your sound, your voice, you know what I mean? And you got to be in that element where you're like, not like, I know it all. You know what I mean? Like, you want to keep learning different, like, it's like falling into that rabbit hole that, I don't know, I feel like we know when we fall into that rabbit hole, we just get into that shit. So that's what it is with, you just add that to the creative process, basically.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I hear that from, like, I've learned so much from all of you guys. Like, that's what I feel like more than anything is like me getting, for myself, that I'm working on is getting out of my head with that, like, feeling ridiculous, like, through it. It's just doing it because, like, what I felt ridiculous through, like, you know what I mean, at first, and I was like too nervous to even like show anybody. Then we like recorded it, then we tried it again, and I'm like, hold on, this shit sounds kind of fire. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that, like, again, it's not like what you said. For me, I look at this as therapy. This whole entire everything has just been therapy for me. Like, me learning, you know, anything, the creative process, music, and what you said about having that childlike and like just always be learning. I think that's what makes me like gravitate towards this whole everything so much, because I was the boss and that I was the know-it-all for everything, and I don't know anything. So like, I don't know. I just like it. Anyway.
No, yeah, it's facts.
Yeah. I like what you said about like finding your voice. Why don't you tell me a little bit about like what you did to find yours, or like if you're still.
I don't know. I got too many voices. I got too many different voices that I just making them into one. But it just started with freestyles, like
rhythm in every language.
Yeah. But it really just started with the hip hop shit. Like, I never thought about making music in Spanish or like anything like that, like catering to that, which, you know, like almost 10 years later, I'm over here like making different, whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
For real. But it started with freestyles. Like, I just started freestyling over beats, and it was like, yeah, it sounded ridiculous sometimes. Like, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Where am I going with this? But I uploaded my first video on YouTube like 2008, 2009 or some shit.
Okay.
It was over a fucking 50 Cent. No, I mean G-Unit, the I Want to Get to Know You.
Oh.
Yeah. I put in some like fucking little verse on that. I recorded off my phone with
my gosh.
My fucking Apple earbuds or whatever that had the microphone.
Yeah.
And I thought that shit was fresh at the time. And I put it up, and I just put like a cover of fucking G-Unit, whatever. I put I Want to Get to Know You, but I didn't put that it was a remix. So when motherfuckers put it up, I got like hella views on that joint, but they was all like hating, like, yo, this ain't the real version. What is this shit? Like, but like,
you should have told them, nah, it is the real version.
But I didn't even have
shit.
that. Like, I wasn't even thinking about rapping like that. It was just like some shit that I just came up with. I was like, all right, let me put it up there. It was like, it was so random because I would just write randomly. But this was like middle school.
Okay.
And I never, like I said, I wasn't even thinking about rapping or whatever, but it was just a flow that I just felt like I had to put up. And yeah, I deleted that video. I wish I would have kept it up.
Dang. Do you still have it though?
Nah, that's what I'm saying. It's so fucking old. It's like, 2008. So I was probably like 13, 12. I was in middle school.
Damn. Yeah, I wish you still had that. That would be crazy.
Yeah, I got like almost 100K views. Back then it was like, yo, like you got like that many views. It was like, then it went to a million.
Was doing the old Soldier Boy on the...
Yeah, the Soldier Boy. Yeah, he did that shit with Napster. And you do it LimeWire too?
LimeWire, that's what I was saying. Yeah, not Napster, LimeWire. Right. It's like take the popular song and then it's like, but download this. It's fucking
facts. Nah,
that's like that's like them damn them bootleg apps on the Roku shit. Remember, it's like you go pull up a movie you think it is, and it's so not that.
It's like the fucking...
You can't knock the hustle for real.
Nah, but it's just all part of finding your voice. Just like those little shit that don't even make sense. Like you said, it's like ridiculous at the time, or it just doesn't even make sense. Like, you're censoring yourself. You know what I mean? When you do that, like when you have this thought in your head, we're like, yo, this shit sound ridiculous. But like I heard J. Cole talk about it in his documentary where he's like, he took a break from rapping, then he went back to his studio, and he was like, yo, this rap is whack, whatever. But he's like, then he had to just like become aware of what he was talking about. And he was like, yo, like, this is my first time back in the studio. Like, I gotta get this shit out. I gotta get this wax, whatever this is, get this out so I can make the next hit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just part of the process.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I really do. Like, like, you just got to get it out, like you do, and like, yeah, I like that a lot. And it's like, again, going back to the basics, like you said, like keeping the purity of it, of like the creating and just making music or just making whatever it is that you want to do, like keeping that, like, whatever, just get whatever it is out, and then that's what it said that you said that stood out to me. The awareness is like, you know, he became aware, like had the awareness of like, all right, what is he saying? Like, I think that it's funny because like one of the songs that I was talking about is the one that like I finally got the courage and actually did it in person with Shatora. That was like the first person I was like, all right, fine, fuck it, I'm just gonna whatever. But then after that I sat like with ourselves, like I sat with myself and like believe it or not, last night, like while I was freaking dreaming and whatever, like I just heard it completely different and like being more aware of what I'm saying. And that's where I was struggling with the verses, like, you know what I mean? Because I was just like, what am I actually trying to say here? But anyway.
But it's like, even like that, like I might go back to that shit that I recorded over the weekend. I might not. But like, that's how, like, you know, if I decide to go back into it, I would have a different approach to it, a different intention, and like I would be focusing on the lyrics, you know what I mean? Like, I had the melody down, I had this, and then I would go into it with a different approach. Sometimes you just have to step back from whatever is being created, and then you go back into it. It's not all going to be done in one session. Like, I think that's another part of overthinking, like,
and like hindering yourself. That's me, 10,000%. I always want to get everything done in one go. It's like, why is it not possible?
No, it's hard. It's hard because you want to get that shit done. You want to prove something. Like, you want to just sometimes
you just need that time to come back.
No, but for me, I think that I always like, I have this great fear of losing my inspiration for whatever it is, because once it's gone, I literally don't go, like, I just get lost. I don't go back, or like when I go back, it just like looks like nothing to me. I almost like try to like follow through, but I know that's what happens like whenever I'm like on some random idea that's nothing to do with whatever we're doing. But I'm just like let's get this done. But I'm scared that like that inspiration's going to fizzle out and I'm not going to be doing it. But that's another fear, like limitation, overthinking.
No, I used to think like that heavy. Like when I first started rapping, I would just have these raps in my head, like, you know, just sitting around and like at work or some shit. Cause I don't know, I would just be always having these raps in my head. And sometimes I'll be like, damn, I can't pull my phone out cause I'm at work. So I don't know if I'm going to remember this lyric. And it would just be like, you know, I'll be hard on myself. Out of that, I did come up with like some shit, you know, but like, yeah, that's definitely like fear. Like, you're thinking you're gonna lose a moment, but it's like,
you're really,
it's cool. Like, you know, that shit, you just got to think of it like it's just always, you're always gonna have that in you. It's just part of the flow.
Well, I'll say is even the ones that I was freaking out about, I would go back, and then the parts that I guess that I was meant to really hear and resonate, like, stayed with me. It's like the parts that, you know what I mean? There you go.
And it's also, I mean, again, you're always gonna be your worst critic.
Yeah.
Like, you're always gonna hear your shit in a certain way that nobody else is gonna hear, and you're gonna doubt yourself. So you got to get past that, and that's always gonna be. It's just always gonna be there when you try new shit and when you take those creative risks. Yeah,
I appreciate that. I have a question for you, Mr. John.
Oh yeah.
So if you were to like, I guess your guitar voice, finding your voice, like what would you? I don't know what my question is. Like, what would you have to say about what your voice would be in guitar, like your guitar voice? Have you thought about that at all?
I don't know. I'd like to say that it's like it's like a mix of blues and like hard rock or metal or whatever you want to say, but this is giving myself way too credit because I'm nowhere in that league at all. But I'd like to say that my voice is trying to be like Albert King meets Zach Wilde or something like that.
Okay.
Like that
I don't know who Zach Wilde
Those are like your inspirations?
Yeah, or like kind of, but like the way it sounds, like the way my playing sounds or whatever. You know what I mean? Because like I really like the heaviness and the the high gain and all that shit from like hard rock metal, all that kind of shit. But I just love like I don't want to say simplicity, but like a lot of those old blues guys, like they didn't know how to read or write music.
Yeah.
Like even fucking like Jimi Hendrix and shit. He didn't know how to read or write music, but he changed the world with his playing, you know what I mean? And a lot of those old blues guys as well. So I say, to me, my favorite is probably like Albert King, maybe from back at that time, late 60s, 70s, all that. And, those got him, B.B. King, Freddie King, all the kings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, Buddy Guy, a lot of those guys, they're the ones that inspired all the you know what I mean, like I said, 60s, 70s, those rock bands, and then gave birth to the 80s, all that shit. So that's what I mean. They were kind of like the foundation pieces or whatever. So it's just, I just love like that. And it was like the playing was through their feeling as well. You know what I mean? It was
for sure.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like self-taught, and it was just like
That's what I was gonna say.
And that's kind of like the way you're saying, you just fucking around and you just whatever comes out, and then you mold from that. You know what I mean? And so that's what I like. So it's like I like to try to piece them together, and that's kind of how I play. But
yeah,
so that I guess would be the voice.
Well, I don't know. I think that like what you said with the expression or the feeling, like it goes with, it's kind of like how I was telling you, like the difference between I don't know if it's even okay because I don't know the rules of the guitar world and all that stuff and what categories you could put people in. So forgive me either, but if I am not allowed to say these names together. But like, what's his name? The Steve Vai guy, right? It's like the difference between him and Gary Moore. You know what I mean? Like that, like you were saying, he's very like technically, but you can hear how technical, like, and the way he does this, like that's too much for me on that. On that side, but
because he's like a composer, some whole, that's why that's like different type of playing. I don't even really like like I know he's amazing, and you know what I mean.
What's his name?
Steve Vai.
Steve Vai. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is? You don't know who that is? Do you know Shaw?
You put me on game right now. What band? Or he's just
like he started with like Frank Zappa, and then I've bands here and there that I can't think of right now, but like I know he played for David Lee Roth when David Lee Roth and Van Halen split, and Dave got his own band, so he played for there. I know he filled in for I think Whitesnake for a little bit, but then he just kind of like he's always like Satriani, Joe Satriani, the other dude he was talking about. Those dudes have always just kind of like been them. Like they put out music, it's just like their name. And they write for every instrument. They're able to play every instrument, all that type of shit. So that's what I mean. Like those dudes are just like on some whole. They're like composers, like a different type. Like they're incredible, but then when they try to play blues, it's like I get what you're trying to say. It's like because it's like too technical. You know what I mean? It's like where blues is more like feeling, and all of that. And it's great that you said Gary Moore, because he would be like the perfect example of what I'm trying to say. Like that blues meets the hard rock metal, because he comes from like hard, like Thin Lizzy. Okay. The boys are back in town.
Okay.
So he comes from that band. Okay. And then like other like 80s shit, until he was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm going.
Did you know that, Gabe? Whatever the way he was just talking about.
Y'all are putting me on game.
Yeah,
you guys got
the boys are back in town.
Music.
You never heard that?
Genre of that, because y'all putting me on game. I gotta listen. I gotta peep though, because I understand. Like I see what you're talking about, like the technicality of it, and then like the feeling.
Yeah.
That's why like that's kind of like how I see like, you know, like how you see hip hop now. Like back then, like you had to be a good rapper. You had to have like, you know, something to say. You had to have like a message behind it. But now like it's the playing field is open for everyone. So you're gonna get like people that you're just gonna get an oversaturation of it, and it's like now it. But I think the feeling is still there. You know?
Yeah,
it's funny that you said that, because I feel like the way like older hip hop heads or purists or whatever you want to say, the ones that like really don't fuck with this new generation, and it's like, you know, when like Future and Young Thug and all that was coming out, they was like,
they was hating.
Yeah, basically like saying it was mumble rap, but using it as a
that was me. I'm not gonna lie, that was me.
No, it's like that type of feeling or whatever reminded me just like of what like rock heads and all that type of shit felt like when grunge came out, like when fucking Nirvana and like all that came out. I felt like they felt like, oh man, this is some fucking trash. This is like going backwards, because you know, you're talking about rock at that time was, you know, hair metal, glam, you know, all that.
But then even the further step into it would be like the next level would be like who did you say, like the Nirvanas and stuff would be like the Sum 41s and that, like imagine like how that progression of what they felt, but how that has actually impacted.
Exactly. And that's how, and I see it, because it's like, all right, you might have not liked those earlier bands like the Nirvanas or like whatever, shit, like Soundgarden. You know, I can't even think of them right now, but
with all those
that's what I mean, because those are the ones, those are the like the real, like, all right, like equate them like, you know, Future, Young Thug, like they might have like been out for a while, to where like this younger generation maybe even looks at them as being a little old or dated right now, but there's a reason why they lasted like a decade or more. You know what I mean? And that's how you can see those types of bands from back then. What you're talking about, those later bands, that's when it's like, now it's like when it's like so oversaturated, you know, and it's like everyone can come do this now.
Well, and see, I don't look at it that way. I look at it as like just a progression of like music and influence. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it may be hard, like if you just say like, I don't know why Simple Plan is coming to my mind, and it's probably the worst like reference, but whatever. If you could say no, like, because you could be like, okay, like Simple Plan, and like you could bring up, I don't know, like who did you say, or AC/DC, right? And you'd be like, where's the connection? But there really is a huge connection and progression to get to there, and that's what I see it. But it's all.
Yeah, I mean,
all the rappers call themselves rock stars now. Like on this, it's been like, I think Kanye's the first one that said it. He's like, yo, we the rock stars. We the biggest rock stars now, and everybody is a rock star. They're literally calling themselves that. Like
sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
All like they got the rock star swag now. Like they got everything, like tattoos,
leather, chains.
Like, you know, like this past decade, it's all like always been the fucking tight jeans.
It's all been rock star.
The whole rock fashion scene.
Shit, I wear tight jeans, so I'm not even gonna.
You do sometimes.
Yeah, when I do wear jeans, I'm mostly sweats.
But oh, sorry, what were you saying?
Nah, that's what I was just saying. That it's like they that shit's always gonna like come back. So that there is that parallel with the rock from the 60s, 70s, like that grunge sound as well, to the just the hip hop sound. Like
well, look how many hip hops are. But look how many hip hop artists fuck with Kurt Cobain and all that.
Oh yeah, he would have been a rapper.
That's like from, you know what I mean. So you see like kind of like the similarities, and where even like because when that was coming out, like they was young, and now that they're the age to make music or whatever, they just draw from there.
Well,
what they knew, you know.
Who did you just say? I'm sorry.
With what?
You just referenced somebody, and I forgot. Kurt Cobain. Oh, I was just thinking like the generation that's like was that mixed the suburban black kid, right? That kind of like that. Well, I mean, because I feel like back when I was younger, I feel like before our time, it really was super segregated. Like it really was. Like you know what I mean, and not just with race, just with everything. Like you were clicked up, you knew where you had to do. Yeah,
white people music.
Yeah, and it was not and there wasn't anything wrong with saying it back then. Like you know what I mean by saying it.
Yeah, that's that white boy music.
Yeah,
no, but even R&B shit. I remember in school, like a lot of those songs. You know what I mean? There's R&B tracks and shit. Mariah Carey, all that. You know what I mean? I couldn't be fucking walking around
like
openly singing that
but
shit.
But you know damn well you fuck with all that are still on your playlist.
That's what yes, like. But now, of course. And now I'm at, you know what I mean? I'm at that, you know what I mean? I'm at that place where it's just like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck who, you know what I mean? Like you could pull up next to me and I'll be bumping that shit loud as fuck.
Yeah.
And I don't care. But I'm just saying, back when you're like in school and all that type of shit, you already know, like you're like, man, fuck that. I ain't getting laughed at. But I still fuck with it though.
Yeah, what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say is like when I was like a teenager, when I was in Delaware, so I don't know, it was like 14, 15, like high school or freshman year, like high school. It was still very separate in a sense that like where I lived in the suburbs, like single family home, whatever. And then down the street was like the projects. So all the kids went down there to get the weed or whatever, pills or whatever shit. Right. But I started seeing a different group of people, and it may just be my experience with the suburban black kid that was listening to like Linkin Park and like, I'm just being like real. They were listening to like they were influenced by all of those things, like all.
I did.
Yeah, but you weren't. I did. But you weren't a suburban black kid either. I'm just saying.
But I don't know. I think.
Because like
Latinx
during that years,
that.
What would be the first Linkin Park album that you would have heard?
I don't know the albums. I know the song. I don't know them like that, but like I listened to them.
Hybrid Theory. Yeah, see, I feel like that would have. That's the album that I'm thinking of. Hybrid Theory.
Man, I can't name their songs, but I know I've heard. You know what I mean? Like I went through a phase with
the ones with Jay-Z.
Okay, I don't even know the names of those, but yeah, that was some of them. But like, what I'm saying is like, I listened to Linkin Park. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know I don't know that too many brown people listen to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But there's a huge community. I think that the artists that are out like now that you guys are hearing and like that are doing whatever, I think they're very heavily influenced.
They are. That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised they fuck with like Nickelback and like fucking Eminem.
Like, I mean, going back to what I said earlier with my like confessions, like that was me. I was that fucking person that was like, no, I don't fuck with this new age music, blah, blah, blah. But like now through you guys and I'm listening and learning and stuff, I'm like, no, they're influenced by all the same shit that we were influenced by. Like, you know what I mean? And they're just doing it their own way. That's all.
Like, I feel like the Spanish community always kind of fuck with some type of rock.
But they like that heavy metal shit.
That's what I was just about to get at. I was just about to say, back when those bands that you're talking about, like the late 90s, early 2000s, I remember Cypress Hill had like fucking rap rock shit, like that whole album or whatever. And I think the Deftones, I think they was kind of Hispanic or something. You know what I mean? So
Deftones.
Yeah.
That's another band from that time. That's another band.
This is hilarious because it's like literally every time any one of us talks, somebody is lost musically.
I'm just saying, like, I think like they just always kind of like had like a certain love or whatever, soft spot for that type of music, the heavy shit, all that.
Now I'm kind of bringing it back because when I asked you about your voice and
hold on, what about your voice? What inspires you? What
my God!
Because you were talking about like
Jay song.
Just okay, what has inspired you? What is like something that like has made you do, like at least writing?
Writing wise, I feel like writing. I don't know, but I feel like kind of going off of what I feel like. Not writing, me learning how to write for my own voice is what I think is what I'm trying to do right now. It's because I feel like when I write, I'm so influenced by everybody else, right? But I didn't even tell you this, but I've been digging deep into like what my influences are and what would be my voice, and it would be Elton John.
Oh, that's
Like,
a good one.
yeah, like, he's like my all-time favorite musician, hands down. I don't care what anybody says. That's just, it's Elton John.
Because you're still standing.
I'm still standing better than I ever did. Okay. I'm feeling like a true survival, living like a little kid. We just talked about this. But Elton John, Brandy, believe I was kind of
She's
surprised.
Brandy.
Yeah.
I love her.
Sitting up in my room.
See, no, you always pick the songs, the ones that
I know, because it makes
wanna
you
be
mad.
down.
we
'Cause
always
it makes
pick
you
the
mad.
opposite songs. But yeah, Brandy, Elton John, Gary Moore, I was like listening to, because believe it or not, even the way he sings, he's not a technical singer. Like he allows the music to sing for him, but he throws in his vocals in there. And I feel like if I were writing for my voice, that's how I would do it. I would let the music speak, right? And then Bradley Cooper.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's a.
But it makes sense though, because he writes like everything
yeah.
we say. It's like, I feel like everything I do is more like, I guess if I were to choose what kind of writer or whatever, it would be like a playwright. Like, you
Like
know
a
what I mean?
musical.
Yeah, like I feel like everything I
hard.
always try to organize. Music Mindset was described as a play or a musical. I think Bullwhip said that. Like, or just like those types of things. So like Bradley Cooper writing for, his movies and whatnot, that the way he writes is to tell a story.
Yeah, I
So.
do like that he does that for
Yeah.
the movies and
Yeah.
shit. Because I didn't like the Lady Gaga movie.
Which
That-
one? The Star is Born? You didn't
I
like
haven't
that
watched
movie?
one.
No.
Bradley Cooper's in it too.
Yeah,
I was
what do
gonna
you
say,
mean?
I
Oh
was
my
gonna
God.
Haven't
say,
watched it.
shut up. Will you let me get it
sorry.
out? Jesus Christ. Anyway, what I was going to say was that's when I realized he was doing all that shit, was that fucking movie. And I was like, oh, kind of like impressed. Like, wow, good
Yeah.
job.
I gotta
There's
check
nothing
that.
about not liking the fucking movie.
I thought you
Like,
said you
Jesus,
didn't like
relax.
that
What if
movie.
I didn't?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
I just haven't seen it. I gotta watch it.
No, I
No,
mean, it's a good movie. I
it's
did
a
like it.
that you
I
have
did
to
like
watch
it,
that
yeah.
movie.
I'm gonna check it out.
But I mean, I wouldn't have gotten all defensive the way you did about it.
Well,
Shit.
because it's just, to me, it's like one of those things. If you look at it
It's
like
not even original,
creatively,
it's a motherfucking remake.
yes,
remake?
yes,
What is it remaking? It's just it's the
Star
same.
is Born.
Stars.
A Star is
When was it?
like the
original.
70s, right?
Chris,
78,
78, 79.
something like that.
Chris.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So it's even fire as a remake.
I fucked with it, believe it or not. I really did. And I really I am a big fan of Bradley Cooper as just in general. Like, it just creatively, he's very talented all across the board. And that, I think, like you said, that movie actually showcased his talent musically. Like,
That's what's up.
yeah, like I really think that you should watch that. So now on
Yeah,
your
I'ma
list,
check
you've
it.
got that. You've got
I like Lady Gaga.
Especially when he
Cooking Cat.
played
I like some
the
Lady
scene
Gaga
where he
songs.
played where he's playing on stage. And shit. I
Yes.
was like,
Yeah,
I
he
was
plays
like,
the
he could play like
guitar.
that?
Like, yes, like he's so fucking talented.
I
I'm
was like,
telling
all
you.
right. No wonder why Lady Gaga
Anyway,
Hey, white boy got
allegedly.
the
No, I mean,
nah, Bradley
they already
Cooper's
knew.
smooth. I don't
shit,
care.
They already knew.
You can't have that much talent and not get away with some like you.
I know, right?
But yeah, those were my
top four.
yeah, those are the ones that I felt like kind of like when I've started writing for myself, the part that I'm struggling with is the songs that I hear raps for and I write. Like, I have no idea
My
what
voice for that. If like you're telling me to write fucking rap lyrics or whatever come, she like asked me to like say whatever comes to mind when she puts on like
I just want to
a
hear.
more
I like
rap
doing
beat
it.
or whatever, and like my voice is definitely more like Future than.
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That's hard.
That's definitely my.
That's hard.
Definitely ripping
Mr.
Future off.
Hey, I mean, Designer did it.
Yeah.
I mean-
it's not like the tone or whatever. I think it's just the way, like the cadence or his flow, or
yeah.
just the way he says it. Because
Yeah.
that's just kind of like how the shit comes to my mind. So like,
I feel like those were the easiest
That's
ones
like-
that we did.
And I kind of just go back. Like, I think Future is like, right, he started that like whole trap shit where like
Yeah.
that's the whole like he's still popping like 10 years later, and he's put on so many people from Atlanta. It's like Gucci.
It's just that's why he's future Hendrix, man. He's the fucking Jimi Hendrix of that trap shit.
He the
Future's the fucking I fuck with Future hard. Pause. The music, you know what I mean? Music, man. Shit.
So what I want to bring it when I was asking you about the guitar and whatnot. So we talked about rock, rap, all different kinds of things in between. You know, I think you guys already know where I've been trying to go with it. And I think like, you know, I feel like I'm a good listener, but I'm a terrible listener because it's so fucking delayed. Like I feel like I hear it months and months later. But like